ang inyong tulay sa himpapawid ng serbisyo publiko. Ang Presidential Broadcast Service, Radyo Pilipinas, Radyo Publiko.
Radyo Pilipinas. Radyo Publiko.
Kinilala ng pang-international at prestigyosong Asia Pacific Broadcasting Plus Awards 2025 para sa kategorya ng Government Streaming. Ito ay dahil sa epektibo nitong pagsasanib ng mga tradisyonal na media tulad ng telebisyon, radyo at print para masabayan ang mabilis na pag-inog ng mundo ng digital at social media tungo sa mas epektibong paghahatid ng mahahalaga at napapanahong mga impormasyon sa mamamayang Pilipino. Kinilala rin ang Radyo Pilipinas dahil sa patuloy na pag-akyat ng rating. Ngayon ay matatag sa pang-4 na pwesto sa Mega Manila ayon sa pinakahuling Nielsen Radio Audience Measurement Survey. At sa social media, nakamit ang mahigit 2,000% pagtaas ng bilang ng mga sumusubaybay sa Radyo Pilipinas page sa unang bahagi ng 2025. Patunay ito na ang inyong Radyo Pilipinas, Radyo Publiko ay tunay na kaagapay ng inyong pamahalaan sa paghahatid ng serbisyo sa mga mamamayang Pilipino. Mula sa aming lahat, sa ngalan ng inyong pamunuan at mga kawani ng Presidential Broadcast Service, kasama ang inyong mga himpilan ng Radyo Pilipinas sa buong kapuluan, maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat, sa inyong pagtangkilik at pagkilala.
Radyo Pilipinas. Radyo Publiko.
Yes, mga galamay ando ka natutaran o welcome din sa tumalaguban sa tuntulong manong usapang agrikultura. Kauban ninyo Armando Feniquito, mga gala. Yes, mga gala. Kamusta inyong pagmatayin yung kabuntagon karon? Char, alive kay kamanduha ka. Alive kay ka. Otherwise, mga gala, kamusta itong mga mag-uman di ano? Ganana karon sa itong, sure, na nasa kaumahan mga gala, no? Ni kay Sikay na, daghan na ginabuhat karon sa kuno. Basta, always mga gala, mga farmers, una, no, nga nagamata mga gala, no, kay sayo kay na sila matos bukid mga gala, no, sila humahan mga gala, no, ano nga magtanong na, no, so, well, mo gina, basta mga karong orasa, udto na para sa ilaha, bisag wala pa adlaw, udto na kay na, no, anyways, mga ka-agree, no, atong balikan no katong actually anay update with regards atong ginaduso no on proposal pa man dito no. So wala pa gid nalihok gid ni Konsehal Ram Abella mga gal no, ang chairman sa ato Agriculture, Aquaculture and Food mga igala diya sa ato ang City Council no. So wala pa gid niya na naduso gid. So ongoing pa ang proposal sa katong ginatawag ng Food Security Code mga igala no. Dugay na ba yan nagiingon no during the time, pero siguro kailangan pa siya og study no. Actually mga igala nindot gyud nga natay kini Food Security Code mga igala ng Davao City para kwan ba no unsay tawag ana natay mga mekanismo o mga kumbaga natay framework no and mechanisms mga gala kung saan nato pagsulbad ng ato ang kakulangon sa pagkaon. Well, whether we like it or not mga gala, ato mga supply sa ato ang mga pagkaon din is dili tanan gikan sa Davao City. Ang uban na mga gala gikan sa laing probinsya o gikan sa laing lugar, especially sa rice mga gala no. Ato din mga gala is dili magnata sa 60 lang 60 or 50% lang ato ang rice sufficiency rate diri mga gala. So kinahanglan mo kuha sa Davao Oriental, Davao de Oro o kining ubang lugar so like North Cotabato o uban pang lugar mga higala nga dunay taas nga rice sufficiency mga higala nga nasa lay buffer mga higala para ilang ikuan sa tua. So mo na mga higala nindot nga natay kuan kay para natay plano kabalo ta kung saan na to pag kung saan na to pag strategize no nga natay igong diri mo gusto Davao City pugod mga ka-agree kuan man gud tanon daghan kay ta daghan kay ta dinhi mga igala no population na to even dili taga Davao mga igala mo ni Idris Davao no kana mo agi mo syempre mo kuan man puna mo konsumo man ng mga pagkaon. So anyways mga igala no tawag lang nato na paminawan mga igala no ang nahimong pahayag ni sa chairman sa Committee on Agriculture, Aquaculture and Food mga igala sa Davao City Council mga igala si Konsehal Ralph Abella no sa gipaygayon nga pulong-pulong sa Davao nitong Milabay Martes mga igala. Paminaw na to.
As the committee chair on agriculture, I am planning to propose, I am submitting a proposal, the Food Security Code, wherein all the past or the approved ordinance and the future ordinance will be incorporated, integrated in that proposal Food Security Code as one of the agenda of our Philippine City Mayor acting now. So second is, we are now on the stage of preparing to submit. Anyway, it was already submitted, but it was referred back to my committee, the mariculture area. Kay atong mga isda karon, we are dependent outsource. Wala talaga depend sa ato ang source diri sa Davao Gulf. So that's why I am in the process of submitting again for the second reading sa mariculture, and it's located in Lasang and one in Punta Dumalat. I suggested to the city fisheries to disregard the Talomo area because it's a 500 hectares, because there was once before offered or suggested that the Talomo will be declared as mariculture because they are going to invest. But dili man klaro ang investor kinsa. But it's a good idea. So that's one, and that's number two. Number three, it's about the amendments of DO ordinance. It will now be called Animal Welfare Ordinance. So, number two, I am proposing for the creation of mobile ordinance. Okay, nagkadaghan na atong mga mobile karon card, postcard or trivial card without regulation. So, muna ako ang isa sa ipasa under sa committee pa, nasa committee hearing pa ang maong proposal. Mobile vending ordinance. Actually, talking about agricultural studies, it's too broad. Ang ako lang is, we have to identify ang wala nato din. Now, number one, rice. We are buying outside source from neighboring, and we are even importing. Nadili kita, no? But the Philippines totally is importing. It's about 48,000 metric tons ang i-import na to last 2023. Okay, hindi ko ano na sa'yo. So, number two is isda. So, asan pa nagagawa isda? Ang akong source, Jinsan, Davao del Norte, Davao del Sur, and other areas dito sa Mindanao. Third, gulay. Asa ka na po gulay, pinakadaghan na source sa Kapatagan. Kung makato mo Kapatagan, na dito ang daghan. No? In fact, nag-import na carrots ikan sa laing lugar. It's shiny, o may compare mo sa source na to, ang carrots is really yun, attractive. Ang sinaw, attractive because full of chemicals.
Sir, siguro sir, just a little bit of parang clarification also. When we're planning to do the food security ordinance, and you're saying that we are sourcing out our food in the city, does this mean that we are also shifting our focus from introducing the farmers? Kasi in the past, we are introducing yung mga pananim na for export, and now we are into parang focusing for our consumption.
Yes. At start, we have to focus in the production, local production, not outside source. We are not going to export yet, but hopefully we can do it. But as of now, we have to invest the place we're into use for the vegetable production.
Since we're talking about yung importation, yung pag-source out nato, for example, rice, kasi parang ito yung kinahanglan mag-yun ng mga tao, no? Parang dili pwede na wala tayong rice. unsa ang atong perspective ani sir, unsa ang approach nato ani, because in a lot of our areas are now being planted by, of course, durians, yung cacao and coffee. We're into that industry. So saan nato ni sir with the ordinance that you're proposing?
Actually, nanak ko din ang sana during my term 2019 to 2022 to protect the area na dili ma-convert into housing or any other usage except rice production lang. Now, my proposal or approved ordinance was the city to establish a rice processing center. Now, the concept is the city will help the farmers in terms of equipments, development, fertilizer, pahuramon sa city, and then the city will buy the palay, galingon sa city processing center, ibalik sa barangay, ang barangay ang mubaligya without cost. But since dako ni nga investment, so we are now trying to find a place wherein to implement a pilot project. The city might provide a machine, a milling machine for that certain areas, and then we go forward.
Of course, this is so promising, no? But I'd like also to know how will this be possible, and also kanang appealing sa atong mga farmers. Kasi of course, we know the price of palay right now in the market, and i-compare nato na sa atong mga export products like durian, coffee, and our tablea. Saan na siya sa city?
Export mo nagpa-play, bro?
Dili, sir. Cacao, sir.
Cacao beans, dried beans. Anyway, ang rice noodle, ang area na nakita nato na pwede, ang nasa, hindi na ko ma-remember ang area sa district rin siya. But in district, hindi na in Kalinan area, before it used to be a big, wide rice field. But some, or maybe all, they wanted to sell it to the private because ang palay barato, why kita ang mga farmers. So that is why kaning ordinance na na-approve na kinahanglan yun nga doon ay areas sa Davao City like Kalinan na i-preserve yun na siya, bawal yun na siya i-convert into other usage. Some of the area kay Balukong nga filingan without permit para lang ay mahimo ang city, mabaligyan na sa muna. But anyway, nanay ordinansa na to protect sa rice field, but hopefully it will be soon to other, it will be implemented soon to other areas. Now, pangutana, wala na may patag. So okay, kung naay mga bukid na naay tubig, pwede i-develop into rice terraces. Provided ang city government motabang in terms of development na may tubig. So kung nahimo sa ibang lugar, kaya na ito imo.
Cons, included ba sa ito ang proposed na food security code ang possible effects sa climate, knowing nga ang pag-asa nag-announce ng second quarter this year po ang ito ang El Nino?
Yes, doon na tayo i-appeal diha na regenerative farming. Meaning, kailangan mo gamit yung o compost o mga tanong na hindi na igo sa bagyo or sa ulan. Meaning, drought resistance mga tanong.
Based sa ito ang nakalabay na tubig, Cons, ready ba gihapon sa Davao City?
Already ang Davao City pero kinahanglan yun ang lalayan yun sila from paghatag og seeds up to marketing. Kay lisod kayo maghatag ka sa ilang og seeds karon niya. Bayaan na lang nato sila. So kung masabot is atong i-train, iba-iba ang ilang produkto.
In what way po na ready po, Cons?
Sa pagkakaroon dito ngayon nga ready ta, kay on the process ang atong food terminal kinahanglan mo to yung bagsakan sa mga abot ilan sa bukid. Pagkaroon, nanay nag-offer na sila mag-operate. So from there, ang katong operator mo tabang siya o train sa mga farmers.
As you mentioned earlier, yung you're planning to create an animal welfare committee. I'm not sure kung tama ko ba gano'n. With the earlier call of the Bantay Hayop to create committee on animal welfare and the recent issue between the Happy Animals Club and the city administrator's office about whether the city will include the animal rights groups to city-owned shelter, considering each of them are currently caring for hundreds of rescued cats and dogs, and many of them disabled or requiring intensive medical care, yung kanilang mga na-rescue. Despite having very limited staff and no assured government support for medicines and medical equipment, if this has not yet been brought to your attention, what steps will you take to assess these shelters' healthcare needs and determine whether city funds or programs can be mobilized to support them?
Actually, nanatay committee, isumpay na lang, Committee on Food, Committee on Agriculture, Food, Aquaculture, and Animal Welfare. Isumpay na, nana si committee under siya kung sa ACOA. Now, talking about funding sa katong mga tawag nila, shelter.
Animal welfare.
Shelter na sila, no? So, I don't know kung tinood ba nila, but I think tinood nila. Ang mga shelter na sila yung funding coming from other CSR or other group. So, dili pa nato pagtagal bahin sa pag-assist financially sa ilaha, wala pa tayo nakita na kung sa'y dapat ihatag sa ilaha. But we had a meeting with certain shelter from Panahan. Topic na namo na siya. So, we are now in the making of finalization sa amendment sa dog ordinance to include all na i-suggest nila kung na siya kanang mga animals including katong isulti na ganiya sa imuha.
So, mga ito mga igala, no? Ang pahayag ni Konsehal Ralph Abella mga igala, ang chairman sa Committee on Agriculture, Food, Committee on Agriculture, Aquaculture, and Food, mga ka-agri. So, napay ubang nakuha nito. Well, part mo guna ka lang sa rabies vaccination, mga igala. No? Part mo na siya sa agriculture, mga igala, no? Di ba? Natay mga na kuha na din ni mga igala, no? Na-discuss mo na ito na dili sa tuwang tulumanon, no? Once mga igala to about rabies, mga igala, no? So, mo to appeal to sa Happy Animals Club na issue dito sa ialahang pangutana siya, mga ka-agri. Anyways, mga ka-agri, sa itong pagbalik, no? No? Hisugutan nato ning katong di ba? Pinaka-adult nga nagkuha no kaning beekeeping, mga igala, bee farming, mga igala, no, dire sa tuwa sa atong hisgutanan sa usapang agrikultura. Karon mga igala, akong ipabalik sa inyo padungog, mga igala, no, katong gipasa nga na ordinansa, mga igala, no, katong honeybee production ordinance, mga igala, dinis Davao City, no. Kung unsa ka seryoso atong mga igala, no, para mas no, ang atoang industriya sa beekeeping dinhi sa atuwa sa Davao City, mga igala. Anyways, mga igala, balik kita man lang sa importante pahinumdum nga to Sibyanan. Balik kita, mga igala, dinhi sa itong panaguban sa itong tulumanong usapang agrikultura. Kauban ninyo Armando Feniquito, mga igala, no. So, sama sa kung gingon kaganihan, no, atong ipadungog karon, no, during the second reading ni siya, pag ma-approve ni siya second reading, mga igala, kuha na siya tuloy-tuloy na ni siya, mga igala, to third reading. And I think na-approve na last December, mga igala, ang maong ordinansa, mga igala, kaning honeybee production, mga igala, diri sa to sa Davao City. Anyways, mga igala, ito paminawan, mga igala, sa pagpanguna ni Konsehal Ralph Abella, mga igala, no, sa pagpasa sa maong ordinansa diri sa to ang syudad, mga igala. Paminawan na to.
All bee farms located at Barangay Katigan. Background: the above reference proposed ordinance was passed on the first reading on July 15 during the third regular session of the 21st City Council. The measures seek to enhance honey bee productivity by strengthening colony health, expanding suitable habitats, and promoting sustainable beekeeping practices. Honeybees collect nectar and drop and pollen from flowers, and in the process, they naturally facilitate pollination. This is an essential ecological function that supports the City Food Security Initiative. Likewise, for production and agricultural biodiversity. Strengthening the honeybee sector also provides income-generating opportunities for rural communities, especially the indigenous farmers, the youth, and the small-scale agricultural enterprise. Mr. President, may I go directly to the highlights instead of reading the last paragraph? Yes, please proceed. During the committee hearing, the proposed Davao City honeybees and stingless bees honey and byproduct production and promotion ordinance was thoroughly discussed. The ordinance aimed, number one, strengthen pollination services and support ecological balance by promoting health bee population, protect bee habitats, and encourage bee-friendly environments, including the preservation of flowering plants and forest areas. There are 11 aims, Mr. President, and allow me to directly, because the 11 aims is also specified in our ordinance. So let me directly, I know that you have copies already. Let me go directly, if possible, to go directly to the recommendation, Mr. President, to expedite our session. Yes. After extensive discussion and deliberation, the Committee on Agriculture, Aquaculture, and Food respectfully recommends the approval and adoption of the proposed Davao City honey bees and stingless bees honey and byproducts production and promotion ordinance. I move, Mr. President, that this committee report be approved. I so move, Mr. President.
There is a motion as stated by Councilor Abella. Are there any second? Duly seconded, the motion is approved. Do you have a question?
Mr. President, this is just a clarification to the report. Because I think about last year or 2 years ago, this was also promoted by the city. Actually, there's one problem there. I don't know what are the measures being done on that. The sale of honey in the market are actually many of those products were diluted. I don't know what are the measures done or what are the procedures done to determine if the sale of the product in the market is diluted or pure. Actually, that's a problem even in malls. There are products of honey which are not actually pure. It is diluted. And that was the problem a year ago or 2 years ago that was floated. I don't know what are the procedures and measures that are done to curb this particular problem, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilor. Well, I know that there are a lot of fake honeys around the city. Even in China, there is. Now, the only way to protect buying fake is to regulate. That is now in the ordinance. I think my bidmate, Councilor Marisa, I think she forwarded or maybe she submitted an ordinance regarding this, but unfortunately it was not done or approved. due to limited time. So, if okay, Mr. President, there is a person who is very knowledgeable in the audience right now. May I request to, or may I move that this plenary session right now be converted, or may I ask for the suspension of the rules, Mr. President, to allow the person, a well-versed person regarding bee or honey placement. Okay, so I said I will move that this body be converted as the whole in order to allow the visitors, Mr. President.
There is a motion as stated by Councilor Abella. Are there any second? Duly seconded, the motion is approved.
May I call Mr. Alex Villa Cuesta? So if there's anyone from my colleagues to ask question or anything, please. Yeah, I will ask him to state his name and his profession.
So, Mr. President, sir, thank you for allowing me this opportunity to come before you. I am Alexis de la Cuesta. I am the owner of Honey Bee Farm. We just launched in March 2025 in Katigan. So, I'm here to respond to any questions you may have regarding honey or beekeeping. Thank you.
Yes, Councilor Ungab, you are recognized.
It's just actually an additional clarification, Mr. President. Because way back, I think 2023, it is commendable to promote honey production. But way back in 2023, this was also done, again, in Rizal Park. The problem there actually, of the samples that they have, around 10 samples that they have, only one is pure. All the others were diluted or either something is done there and marketed as pure honey. That's why this representation is asking what were the measures done so that we could be able to produce and sell to the public the correct undiluted or pure honey that should reach the consumers. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, sir. Shall I answer, sir? Basically the DOST in December 2020, they published that 80% of the honey in the market are fake. It's not even adulterated. It's high fructose corn syrup. We're still waiting for the second phase because the first phase in December 2020, what they did, they bought honey from Lazada, Shopee, and supermarkets, and 80% turned out to be fake. The second phase, they asked for beekeepers to submit samples of honey, and we're still waiting for the final results. Hopefully within this year or early January, they will be releasing the result of that second phase of their test. Unfortunately, the only way to test whether honey is pure is through laboratory, and it costs 8,500 per sample. That's why there are a lot of fraudsters. Because who would test the honey first before buying? So, and there's also a loophole in terms of the FDA. Not to say anything against the FDA, but the process currently is that they have accredited laboratories nationwide. The fraudsters, they buy pure honey from the beekeepers. They submit it for testing at the accredited laboratory. Based on the result, they will pass the result to FDA, and based on the result, FDA releases the certificate. So FDA does not do any surveillance activities to make sure that what are on the shelves are actually pure. So it's not really a guarantee that if it's labeled as FDA registered, it's already pure honey. So I'm not privy to what was in the 2023 draft ordinance, or I don't know how you call it po. But in the implementing rules and regulations for this ordinance po, we can consider tie up with the DOST to make sure that those who are participating in the beekeeping project of the city, they should be required to submit samples at least once a year to make sure that what goes into the market are really pure honey. And also the city agriculture should be able to monitor the number of colonies that each beekeeper keeps versus the volume that they sell to the market. Because on the average, a beekeeper can only harvest up to 30 to 40 kilos per colony per year. So if they have X number of colonies and they're selling more than what's the average volume of harvest, then it could be suspicious honey already. Thank you.
So mo to mga higala no, ang nahimong deliberasyon no alang sa Honeybee Production Ordinance mga higala no diri sa Davao City no. So anyways mga higala, hopefully no daghang mga mainganyo nga mo venture into beekeeping and bee farming and honeybee production mga higala no. Okay. Of course, so, daghan og mga lugar din sa Davao City nga pwede natong pwede matap-an ang mga higala. So hopefully managhan ato mga bee farms din sa tuwa sa Davao City. Anyways, mga higala, bago ta mo bye-bye mga higala, ato sang sayron mga higala no, ang atong lakat sa panahon pinagi sa tuwang DOST Pag-asa. So mo to mga higala no, ang lakat sa atong panahon karong adlaw. Anyways, mga higala, na tayo igong oras, no? Sa ngalan, mo ko ito naglangkob sa tuwang panag-uban, no? Alang sa itong tunamalong usapang agrikultura, o sa ngalan, sa Tibok Pwersa, sa DXRP Radyo Pilipinas, Radyo Publiko Davao, mga higala. Ako inyong kauban, Armando Finiquito. Dagang salamat o mayang adlaw karatong tanan. Amping takanunay.